Got to be careful what I say. It's easy to say some words, and I know YouTube don't like them, so I had to reset here. What were we talking about? We were talking about the Nephilim, the giants, and things that happened before the flood. Um, a lot of people would say, well, the giants, that's kind of crazy, and I don't believe that there was giants. There's no evidence, and actually there is a ton of evidence. They have dug up sites all over this planet, a lot of them North America alone. There's like, I don't know how many, there's a lot where they have dug up giant bones. And there's stories about these, and not just in the Bible, not just in the old text, the ancient texts, uh, everywhere. And recently, there was a story about who was the guy who sailed around the world. He talked about them. He spotted these giants, and he said that they were so gigantic it would take a dozen men to take them down. And I don't remember if it was on a South American island or if it was somewhere else. I'd have to look it up. Magellan? Cortez? Who the heck? Anyways, I just remember a story about how they spotted some giants on an island, and there's stories of giants in lots of places. South America. One of the more recent ones was, and I don't know, it's not perfectly clear to me yet on whether this is, they're talking about like giants, they're 30 foot tall, 20 foot tall, 15 foot tall, or like if they're talking about like Bigfoot type giants, 15, 12, 10 feet tall. But the Japanese apparently had seen some of these, and they were very aggressive, and they were taking people out. And I don't know if they were like fighting back and dealing with these things and wipe them out or what, but and I don't remember if the Americans talked about it either. I was trying to think. I thought that they were, that they like seen these things, but these stories are everywhere, every continent, all kinds of places. So there's got to be something to it, and they're finding these bones, but nobody ever talks about it. They cover it up. They don't want you to know. They don't want you to know the truth. Um, I don't know. Maybe they just don't like people saying, "See, this proves that the Bible is true." I think they want to keep us confused and in the dark, and I don't. And I think there's a reason behind that, and that's for control. Because if you find out the truth, then it's harder to control people who are enlightened and understand how everything works. They want you to keep you in the dark. So apparently this has been going on for like, they've been getting this gold for a long time, hundreds of thousands of years. And Lord Enlil decides that he's had enough of these human beings. They're loud, obnoxious. And I'm not sure, I mean, how can he, I don't know. Were they that loud that he could hear them from hundreds of miles away? I don't know. But there's also another story where he was like, he was not happy about the giants and the Nephilim and the human um, annunaki interactions and the GG and all this stuff, and he just didn't like it. he called him an abomination, and he had a plan. So he decides he's going to unleash plagues upon, and I think it was like 7 plagues. There's another parallel to the Bible. And he was going to try to get rid of some of these, or maybe he was just trying to reduce the numbers. I don't know if he was trying to wipe them out or what, but Enki, the creator of mankind, didn't want his. I mean, he was like, if you could imagine, we were like his children. We were his invention, so to speak, his babies. And he was like, no. And he went behind Enlil's back, and he was like trying to save these humans and telling them how to counteract these plagues and survive them. And so Enlil was getting kind of frustrated. Here's where some people think that the Anunnaki created this flood, but I honestly think that they just knew it was coming. So their planet was coming in again, and supposedly it's like a brown dwarf, I guess, and it was fairly good sized. It was like a brown dwarf. It causes a lot of problems in our solar system, and it's like made a mess of our solar system ever since it's been captured by the sun. And I don't know if I told you that story or not yet, but that's a crazy story. It's wild, but it also explains a lot of things in our solar system. And that's the thing, is tell me, how did they know all this stuff before we knew all this stuff? Make it make sense, right? So there definitely had to have been an advanced civilization before our civilization that knew all this stuff somehow. Make it make sense. So their planet is coming in around the sun. It's getting ready to make another circuit around the sun. So this entity named Marduk, which is Enki's firstborn son, he was sent to Mars with the Ajiji, and they had like a base there. And so they came back. Mars got, how they explain it was the atmosphere got stolen away from Mars, and then all the water like evaporated, so there's no longer it's the barren waste that it is now. So they come back to Earth, and like they kind of know what's up. In my opinion, this is how it went down. So Enlil's like, well, there's going to be a flood, and nobody's going to stop it. We're going to let the human beings get wiped out. And he made them all, agree to a pact that they were going to let this happen. And Enki was kind of grumbling, and he didn't want to, but he's like, all right. So he goes and he has a dream. And in the dream, this I can't remember the guy's name, Galzu or something, comes to him in a dream and tells him, to go to Ziazudra and give him instructions on how to build a boat to save himself. And he has a jade tablet that he's got all the instructions written on. So Enki wakes up and from his dream, and he's like, that's weird. And then he finds the jade tablet there with all the instructions on it. I don't know. It sounds kind of fishy, but did he have a dream, or did he just come up with a plan to get around Enlil? And he actually inquired about this guy that came to him in his dream, and they said, he's not here. He's not around here. He's been gone. I think he went to Nibiru. And anyways, he goes and he talks to Ziazudra, aka Noah, and instead of talking directly to him, he's like, read Hut, listen to my words, and starts talking to the reed wall like he's not addressing Ziazudra. And Ziazudra's like, well, hey, what's up? Show yourself and this and that. And he said, no, you cannot see me. If you see me, you would surely die. And he was giving him instructions and telling him what to do, and left the jade tablet there, and then took off and did his thing. So Ziazudra made this boat, started breaking down his hut, and his reed hut. They had reed huts back then, apparently. I don't know if they had straw on top or what, but must have been the fashion back then. So he's told to break down his reed hut, and he's told to build this boat, and he's told to make it out of cedar wood. Cedar wood makes sense. Everything was made out of cedar wood back then because cedar wood was naturally resistant to rot and moisture. And then he was supposed to make a basket, basically donut-shaped boat. Had specific things that he was supposed to do. Makes sense. He basically made a frame out of cedar wood, and then he used the reeds to quickly weave a basket-shaped boat. And actually, those are very common back then. Apparently, used them for going up and down the rivers all the time, and they've got evidence of this. So he's building this boat, and then he's told to make it out of cedar wood, reeds, and bitumen. And the bitumen was basically like tar. It was a mixture of stuff, and you put it on wet and it hardens up. It basically seals your boat where the seams are at. They had different techniques for this stuff, right? But inside and out, bitumen, make sure you had a nice solid boat, but it was supposed to be 100% leak proof. No water in, no water out. Not even, he's described it as not even a ray of sunshine can come into that boat. It has to be watertight, basically. And there's a reason for this, and it makes total sense, more so than the other stories. So how he got this done was he talked to the people in the town, and they helped him, and he explained to them that Lord Enlil is angry, and Lord Anki told him that he needs to do this, and he gets their help. They help him build this boat. He finishes it on the 5th day, and it's ready to go. So these people bring him food and water and provisions, and then he loads up all of his 4-legged animals that he has. Not every animal on the planet. And this makes way more sense, because the Noah story in the Bible, absolutely impossible. You couldn't even, there's over 6 million, you could look this up, there's over 6 million species of land animals on this planet. You can't tell me you're getting it out on that little boat. And people think, well, yeah. Love you, and I'll see you in the next video.